Hello and welcome to the Inspiring Inking Facebook page and the Inspiring Inking YouTube channel. I'm Amanda Fowler and it is Tuesday the 12th of September. Thank you so much if you are joining me today. If you're watching live, can you do me a sound and light check, please? And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come and hang out with us. I do read all the comments and respond where a response is needed. So do leave comments for me, please. And if you've never watched Craft and Chat before, there's probably 20 minutes or so of chatting and then we craft. So if you're watching the replay, you don't want to listen to the chatting, that's fine. You can whiz forwards. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing? Good to see you. I'm not really sure what day of the week it is. We've been away again and it's all kind of upside down. Everything is upside down. Hi, Ali. Thanks for popping in. I've got coffee, so you can tell it's been one of those days because I'm drinking coffee in the middle of the afternoon, which is not like me at all. But I have a lot to do today. Good. Thank you, Donna. She's saying the light and sound is good in Oz. So if I can reach halfway around the world, then I'm hoping it's good for everybody else too. Right. So let me know what you've been up to. Since I last saw you. I know lots of you have been loving this because my little email goes bing when I get an order. It's very, very exciting. So thank you so much. I am so pleased you are loving the catalogue. I think it's one of the best we've had for a while, certainly for Christmassy things. Such a wide variety. Lots of traditional stuff, lots of fun stuff. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. So I wanted to point out a couple of things in the catalogue. I'll do that in a minute. And today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favorite products from the catalogue that you might not have even noticed. So there you go. The light is reflecting off my face. Yeah, I think I've got moisturizer on. I think I'm shiny. Chris is saying that the light's reflecting off my face. Yeah, I will move the lights next time. Thank you, Donna. Hello, Karen. Hello, Margaret. Angela and Chris are here. Oh, Chris and Angela went on the Waverley on Saturday. That's good. That's really good. So keep those comments coming. Let me know what you've been up to. It was Brian and my 34th 34 years 34th wedding anniversary on Saturday. We try and celebrate it in some kind of way. We usually go away or we do something special, and obviously I've only just come back from Vegas, so I didn't really want to go flying anywhere again. So we decided to have a home vacation, as it were. So we went to Center Parcs at Longleat. We haven't been for, we were trying to figure it out. We think it's about 18 years. Because we went when the kids were little. But we know of quite a few people who've been to Center Parcs and love it. And we thought, well, we'd go just the two of us. So we did. And it was just so lovely. I switched the phone off. My out of office was on my emails. So, we really did switch off. We did a lot of walking and some fun activities. We did Segway and golfing and swimming and fun stuff. But on Saturday, which was our actual anniversary, we'd booked a private safari at Longleat. And many of you will know Longleat from the television program Animal Park. They film it there at Longleat. And basically, the private safari is going with a safari ranger in their stripy Land Rovers in and out of the whole park. So we had an amazing time, because normally it's a drive-through safari park. So normally, obviously, when you go, you have to stay on the road and you just have to follow everyone as you go. But because they're in the Rangers Land Rovers, they could go anywhere. So we got really close and got some great photos and lots of fun stuff with the tigers and the lions and and the wolves. And okay, see, I like I like all the scary bitey things, and the giraffes. And we just had a wonderful time. And we went to see the koalas as well. So that's something that I've been wanting to see for a long time. So very excited to see the koalas. So we had a really amazing day. It was blisteringly hot. But if you ever get the opportunity to do that, I would highly recommend going and doing that. It was just wonderful. And the thing is, because you're with a safari ranger, they know everything about all the animals. So, we saw the cheetah as well, one of the cheetahs, and they'll give you much more in-depth information about the animals and the breeding programs and the way that they're trying to protect the species and reintroducing them into the wild and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it was wonderful. So we had a wonderful time. There were a couple of instances during that day that were perhaps not as awesome as they could have been. So the first, you know how things come in threes? Well, the first thing that happened on the way to the car, a lady ran me over with her bicycle. Oh my gosh. So if you've never been to a Center Parcs before, there are no cars on site. So yes, when you're dropping all your stuff off, and then you have to take your car back to the car park. But as a consequence, and because Longleat Center Parcs is really hilly, lots and lots of people have bicycles and they hire them. And many people have not been on a bicycle for, I don't know, clearly a long time, because Brian and I were walking down the road and this family group were cycling along. And I sort of turned my head. Brian was here on my left. And I turned my head to say something to Brian. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this woman. And she is cycling right at me. And she actually smacked into me. Thankfully, she was braking at the time. So it actually didn't fall over. But I've got plenty of bruises to share with you. Well, I'm not going to share them with you, but plenty of bruises to show that she tried to run me over. It was, and I just, how sometimes you just can't believe it. And the woman stopped and was going, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And her whole family around her was going, Mum, are you okay? I'm going, what about me? She ran me over. Anyway, so that was the first thing. And then after we'd done the safari and, we'd gone and got some lunch and we were queuing, and there was a lady in the queue, wasn't very happy about the fact that she was in a queue. We were at Safari Park on probably their busiest day of the year, one of the hottest days of the year. You know, you just have to queue. You just stand there and you queue. And she pushed past me, and I sadly was stood right in front of like the hot water urn. I don't know, you might be able to see. And she pushed into me, knocked me flying for the second time, and I hit my arm on the hot water spout, and and it took skin off. So it's pretty sore. Uh, so yeah, so I think had Brian managed to feed me to the tigers, that would have been our three things, wouldn't it? As a they we had to wind the windows up. We weren't allowed to feed anybody to the tigers. Apparently, they don't like people. So you know, I just it's funny, isn't it? So yeah, so I've had a real adventure. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, accidents happen, don't they? And you know, I'm quite accident prone, so it's not surprising. Right. So that's kind of my crazy tale. So of course, in and amongst all of that, we didn't come home until sort of tea time yesterday. We went to Stonehenge actually on the way back. Now, I don't remember ever going to Stonehenge. The last time Brian went to Stonehenge, there were porter cabins and portaloos and a car park that would take like 50 people, 50 cars. Now the center, there's a cafe, there's huge exhibits and information. The parking and stuff, it's beautiful. If you haven't been for a while, I would absolutely recommend that you go. Really well organized. There are shuttle buses to take you to the stones because it's 2 kilometers. I don't know why they said it was 2 kilometers. We work in miles here in the UK. I don't know how many miles 2 kilometers is, but it seemed like quite a walk. And the most direct route is to walk along the road, which is kind of boring. But you can walk across the fields on the like bridleways and see the barrows. And for those of you that don't know what barrows are, they're medieval burial places. And you can see these great big lumps on the ground, and yeah, it was amazing. I really enjoyed it. We could have stayed there for ages. Obviously the stones are very impressive, but yeah, it was really good. So we got home tea time yesterday, and obviously I've got up this morning and gone straight into work mode, and yeah, I'm kind of not really sure what day of the week it is, but clearly I knew it was Tuesday because I'm here. The doorbell might go. So FedEx have been trying to deliver a parcel the whole time I've been away, and there was no way of kind of diverting it. So it might turn up today. It might not. Who knows? Okay, so let's have a look. Let's see what everyone else has been up to. Hi, Elizabeth. Ali's saying it's her favourite place to go. Which one? The Safari Park, Ali, or Centre Parks? Hi, Mum. Pauline's here. Ooh. Donna's been quiet, but she's been making a knitted/crocheted blanket for her son. So knitted squares crocheted together. Very cool. Hello, Margaret. She's catching us live. Yeah. So Ali's saying cycling on the boardwalks is an experience. Yes, it is. And clearly some people need more lessons. Yeah. Donna's saying maybe I should have stayed at home. No. We need adventures. Even when things go wrong. Do you know, sometimes I think some of the best trips are the trips when things go, slightly awry, because you have a funny story to tell. Yeah, hopefully there's no third thing. And Chris is saying perhaps I should have flown. Yeah, I know. But sometimes you just need to stay home. Oh, Chris went when you were able to walk amongst the stones at Stonehenge about 50 years ago. Yeah, Brian seems to remember that he was allowed to walk through the stones as well. So, Centre Parks. Hi, Julie. We haven't seen you for ages, Julie. Are you okay? Over the pond. Ali's favourite place is Centre Parks. Yeah. Margaret remembers living in Salisbury and being able to walk through the stones as well. Hi, Lorraine. How you doing? Awesome. So, yeah. So, Deborah's saying Stonehenge was their yearly school visit. there were a lot of school kids and students, but something that we found really interesting, we were booked in at 1 o'clock. We've got an English Heritage Pass, so you book your tickets online, but we actually got there just after 12, and we managed to get on the coach to the Stones. You know, literally, we walked to the front of the queue, and the bus came, and we went. By the time we got back and we'd had some lunch in the cafe, I can recommend the Hot Pot. It was mobbed, and there were coach tours appearing, which I'm guessing a lot of them are coach tours from London and also from the cruise ships. But sort of 1:30, 2 o'clock, it was just coach after coach after coach after coach. And the thing was, this is why I'm saying it was really well organized, because the coaches that were picking up to take people to the Stones were just constantly rolling and rolling. It was a very smooth operation. It's very cool. Oh, Karen says she's got photos of her sitting on the Stones. Blimey. Yeah, there was a lady actually who got shouted at. So the way it's barriered off now, it just makes me laugh, because this is such a British thing. You know, let's put some really thin, like finger thin metal bars with some loops of rope that are about 2 foot off the ground, and that will keep everyone at bay. You know, and the Brits, you know, our love of rules and our love of queuing, you know, we all stay in the designated bit. But this lady had decided, she didn't walk towards the main set of stones, but there were some stones kind of barriered off in this very small barrier. And she just stepped over the rope and just gaily went along to sit on a stone. So the security man removed her very politely. But she was saying, but it doesn't say I can't go there. And it's like, there was a fence. I know you stepped over the fence, but there was still a fence. Oh dear. Julie's been really busy. Good. So long as you're well, that's all that matters. Oh, Ali's been putting her husband to work. I love that. I love it. You know, when the two of you actually get on with it, or you get the family involved and you have a good old spring clean. So she's been giving the kitchen a great big clean. 3 days on and it's still clean and tidy, and it fills you with joy. Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's awesome. Yes, Deborah, you can get in with the National Trust card as well. So I think it's managed by English Heritage, but you can get in for free if you've got National Trust as well. Oh dear, Jackie's been in A&E for 5 hours yesterday. That's rubbish. They've got photos of her standing in the rain in front of the stones. Jackie, you can't do that. Jackie is saying that we should put electricity through the fence. You can't electrocute the visitors. That'd be mean. But, maybe a sign. A sign which says, don't climb on the stones. Oh, dear. We are funny, aren't we? Right. So, Karen's here. I've got to tell you about this. This Post-it. Hang on, let me just see if it'll. Labeling and cover-up tape has changed my life, apart from the fact that I'm now all out of focus. Hooray. Let me just put my whole face. Yeah, you see, I'm in focus again now. Changed my life. So basically it's like the sticky bit of a Post-it note on a roll with a tear tape end bit. You can use it for pinning your dies down. I'm going to be using it with masks in a minute. It is awesome. It's eye-wateringly expensive. Made me cry when I had to pay for it. But you can use it and use it and use it and use it. So that's really cool. So this is like 1 inch wide, but you can get narrower bits. And I think next time I'll get a slightly narrower one. Yeah, Donna, I got it from the A to Z store. It's good. Ali uses this all the time. And Ali's with Jackie on the whole putting the electricity through, because she said it'd be funny watching people get zapped. So Jackie is also recommending low tack frog tape. So I've tried that before and it didn't work for me as well as this Post-it tape. So I'm guessing that there might be different ones. So, but this is my favorite at the moment. So last week I talked to you about some of my favorite things. I just want to draw your attention to something which I now can't find, because I couldn't show you in the catalogue last week because it hadn't gone live. So where is it? Stamps, stamps, stamps. That's why you can't see it, because right, it's not in the index. It's this deckled circle dies. There are 14 dies. Look, I've gone out of focus again. There we go. There are 14 dies. The smallest one is Tiddly. Teeny, teeny. But the biggest one is 5 3/4 inches. It is huge. So I'm just telling you because I'm going to be using them quite a lot. I love it, but I think a lot of people have missed them completely. So they really, really, you need them on your list. They're not on your list yet. You need them on your list. But watch this space, because we're going to be doing stuff on those. Okay, but what I'm going to be showing you today is another one of my favorite products, which is on page 47. Da, 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 da. Which is these Abundant Beauty decorative masks. So I'm gonna turn the camera around. And switch the camera. And start it again. Hurrah. Right. So let's start out with the masks. So there are seven different masks in here. So there's a set of 4 and then 3 individual ones. So I'm just going to put this here so you're going to be able to see them. So we'll start out with this one. So this is for a background, and I'm going to use all of them in a minute just to show you, but I just want to show you the images first. So this is like a herringbone kind of dog tooth kind of pattern. Really great for backgrounds. This one is one of my favorites. So this is kind of all autumnal kind of leaves. You've got little acorns here as well. Then you've got some snowflakes, which are really cool. And you've also got little sort of dots for snow as well. So they're the 3 independent ones. And then you've got a set of 4. Now, I'll start with the flower one. So I want to talk to you about this. Quite a few people have done videos on these, and they are missing a couple of things. So I just want to point out a few things that will really help. The first is there is a number here. So where that little V is, there is a number. And each one of the masks has a number. So that's 1. That's 2. So you've got the leaves. 3 is the centers. And then 4 is the detail. Now, as well as the numbers, these notches are so that you can line them up one on top of the other when you're doing your coloring. So because there are numbers on here, these notches are designed to go in the top left-hand corner. I have seen people using them the other way up, and that way round. And when you've got them, if you hold it with the little notch here on the left, you'll actually be able to kind of feel that this is the way it's kind of been cut through. So this is the top, and it's like a softer edge. Whereas if you turn it over this way, it's a harder edge. Does that am I making sense? So they are designed to go this way up. That said, it is, and you'll see in a minute, it's really easy just to use one flower and kind of put it on a bit of card like that. So don't get too hung up about they've all got to go top left, but just kind of be aware that that's how they're designed. So you've got flowers and leaves and the inners. Okay, so let me just get some of I've got loads of blending brushes. Ooh, where's my blue one gone? Loads of blending brushes, and I've got just to show you, these are the mini ones and these are the standard size ones. The handles are the same, but the head size is different. I have got multiples, as you can see. There's these and these. I've got some more downstairs as well. I tend to use them in color families. So I'll tend to use the sort of oranges and reds. I've got blues, greens, pinks, purples. And I just clean them. So I've got, you'll see, because I'm using the masks, this is a microfiber cloth, and it's just damp. Just damp. So I'm just cleaning it. Just to get the worst of the ink off. Okay, so let's start with the snowflakes. Da, da, da. I'm not going to make finished cards for these first few masks. I will finish them off and I will show them to you next week. But I am just going to use them today. So these masks don't have a right side and wrong side. That's noted, but if you feel them, you'll be able to figure it out. So that is completely smooth, whereas that is sort of raised. Okay, so I'm just going to pin that down. So I'm just inking this up. Now, when you are putting the ink down, you want to use a light touch. You don't want to be pressing down hard, mainly because these are actually really quite delicate. They're quite intricate. And if you press really hard, you run the risk of lifting bits of the stencil or mask up. Now, obviously, if you want to, you could use multiple colors on this. I'm just using one for this one, but you'll be able to see me using multiple colors in a minute. And I'm not sure why Stampin' Up call these masks. Because they're stencils. But they've always called them masks. So I guess that's obviously what they like to call them. So I'm not sure. But there we go. So I might call them the wrong thing. But there you go. So, let me just bring that up a bit more. And then just lift it off. And look at that. So that gives you a really great background. You could just put a sentiment on there and you'd be done. That'd be really cool. So like I said, I use my microfiber cloth and just kind of dab over the top of it. What you don't want to be doing is doing that. Yeah, don't rub it, because what will happen is you'll tear these little pieces. Although it's quite sturdy, you will tear it. Okay, so that's the first one. Then let me show you, whilst I've still got the blue out, this kind of dog tooth. And what I'm actually going to do with this is just do a little bit of background, just to show you, because you don't have to do the whole thing. Yeah, just because the mask is the whole thing, you don't have to do the whole thing. So look, you can just do like a little bit of a random pattern. I have got, there's another sort of random pattern, and there is I've done kind of an ombre effect with darker and going lighter. So that works really, really well as well. So I actually love this the best, because you could just put an image there. You could put a flower there, or leaves, trees, and it just gives a bit of depth to it. So I'm still using this, and this piece of tape is the only piece of tape I've been using, and I've been playing with the masks. Last week I was playing with them, and obviously I've been playing with them when I've been prepping. Okay, so that one's done. That one's done. Now we are going to go on to the little fun bits. This one. So again, I'm just checking which way around. So that's the flat side. So that's the side that we want. Pin it down. And then I'm going to use 4 different colours because I can. So I have got pumpkin pie, cherry cobbler. Just put that blue one away. Daffodil delight. So that's my palest. Then pumpkin pie. Then Cajun craze. And then cherry cobbler. So I'm going to go from top to bottom. So I'm going to start out with daffodil. And if you're ever layering colour, always start with your lightest. Then pumpkin. And then if you're starting with your lightest, let me just pick that up to show you. So can you see just on that leaf there, I've got some of it's daffodil and some of it's pumpkin, and that as well. So if you start out with your lightest colour and go darker, you're not going to muddy your blending brushes. If you go from the darker colour through to the lighter colour, you'll end up transferring the ink. So this is Cajun craze now. And again, I'm going round in circles. But I'm not putting pressure on. I'm not pressing down. No white knuckles here. And then this last one is cherry cobbler. And each time I'm just trying to blend it into the colour above. So let's just pull that off. And look, how cool is that? And how quick. Which is the awesome thing about masks. They are so fast. I am going to clean this. Obviously, I'm using the cloth, but you can just, if you've got a bowl of water, you could just pop it in a bowl of water. I will never do that because because a bowl of water near my crafting table is a recipe for disaster. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that because that's a bit wet now. And close these up and put my blending brushes away. So otherwise, you know what happens. Everything ends up covered in ink. So let me just show you these just again. So that's that one. That's your snowflake. And then I'll just pop that there. But like I said, that one's my favourite. But they're stunning, aren't they? So those 3 are worth the money before you even start. But then you've got the awesomeness that are these flowers. So I have decided I have got a traditional a traditional sunflower set of images. but which I will show you. But I want to. They reminded me of gerberas, so I wanted to do something that was a bit more fun in the color palette. So I've gone for the Berry Burst and Highland Heather. So let me get the colors out. So Berry Burst, Highland Heather, and Soft Sea Foam for the leaves. So here we go. Let me just check I've got the right. Yeah. Move that out of the way as well. Move those up. Okay. So the way I make sure this all works nicely is I put a dot. This is my grid paper. I put a dot there, and I know that I'm going to have the top of the mask on that line, and the V, and the dot will be in that bit of the V, and then that line goes down. And I know then that every time I put the mask down, it is exactly where it should be. Okay. So then the piece of cardstock is going to go underneath. Now, I know that basically the way this is going to work is that I'm going to lose some of the two smaller flowers because of the size of the card and the leaves as well. But that's okay. So I'm going to get my blending brushes. And I'm going to start with the Berry Burst. Now, this is a really deep pink. So you really, really, really want to go gently. So really softly. And I like it to be darker in the center. So I do the centers first. Darker in the center. And then going lighter. So you can see there, I haven't taken the color all the way to the edge. And what I'm actually going to do is just get rid of some of the ink that's on here. And just fill out the rest of it. Ooh, that's moved very slightly. That's me not paying attention. There we go. So again, I'm just going to go back into the very center just to make that tiny bit darker. Okay. So I'm going to lift that up. How cool are those flowers already before you even start? So that's number one. So number two is actually the leaves. It's kind of weird, isn't it? But that is the way it goes. So pin it down. And pop the ink on the leaves. Now again, you can go over this a couple of times. You can kind of add shading. Can you hear background music? The neighbours have decided to crank up their crank up their music. If you could just let me know, and I will shut the windows. So there we go. So there are our leaves. Let's move that mask. So we're looking for number 3, which is the centres. Oh, they've stopped the music now, so we might be all right. No, Ali can only hear a radio. That's good. That's good. It's just, it's really funny because I'm so used to working here in silence. And obviously, I'm not really in silence because I kind of hear all your voices, even though you're typing. But it's just kind of distracting when I can hear music from somewhere else. Okay, so we're doing the centers of the flowers. Now, remember that you're going to be going over it with this in a minute. So you can either do a pale version with the same color, so paler version here and then darker here, or you can use two-tone. But I'm just going to do really light this time and then go darker into the next one. So this is Highland Heather, so it's just really pale. And you could stop there if you wanted to. That's cool, isn't it? You could stop there. But we're going to go on. We're going to use the last one. So let's find, so line it up at the top. And I'm just going to position the mask. What I could have done, had I been sensible, is actually pinned the paper down as well. But I didn't. So I didn't. So let's just pull this down a bit further. Actually, we'll go that way instead. So you can, you know, if you knock it, you can kind of go back in and tweak it. There we go. So this time I'm getting a bit more ink and I'm going back in. And so you're getting a much deeper color in those areas. And obviously it's resisting the other parts of it. How cool is that? Look at the dimension you're getting there. That's so cool. So I'm going to finish that off in a second, but what I do want to do is just to show you how you can kind of freehand it if you want to. So if I want the littlest flower, I'm just going to kind of pop that there. And this is for the inside. So I've just done one flower, but can you see that I've got some extra bits there because I wasn't paying attention to where my brush was going. So I'm just going to flip that over and show you again. So just be careful. So I want that flower, but just make sure that you're only going in. You're only going in that flower. Okay. So if you're going to go freehand, just be careful. And then find where your next bit's going to go. Just do that. And it's only really the flower petals that you have to pay attention because they're quite close together. You can see that they're quite close together, whereas the others are quite spaced out. So then you've got that one. So we can just pop that down, and then we're just going to go over that again with the darker. It's the same colour, but we're just working on it harder. And there you go. So that gives you a single flower for the inside of your card, because you need to decorate the inside of your card and your envelopes. Thank you so much for all your lovely comments. I'm really pleased that you're enjoying that. So I'm going to use my awesome Best Family Ever Happy Birthday. And let me get my trimmer out. And for this happy birthday, I use a strip that is 1/2 inch. I'm just going to stamp my happy birthday. Now, the lovely people that were with me at my mystery class in August will know this tip, but for everyone else, here is a little tip for you. We don't always want to use a punch or a die for a sentiment. So I often work out the width I need for a sentiment and then just cut a strip and stamp it. But to make it look fancy, if you cut it at a diagonal like that, that looks really cool. But to match it, use that cut piece and line it up the other end and cut it. And then it's nice and even, which is a really quick and simple way to get you a fancy sentiment without getting all your dies out. So let me just close these all up. Thank you, Janet and Margaret and Ali and Donna and Jackie. Hurrah. Ooh. So let me just turn that over and find my cards. Ooh. I think I forgot to bring up a new Tombow. Yeah, that's dead. That's dead as a dodo. I'll use my seal instead. When I've finished, I will run downstairs and go and get some more Tombow. Because it feels weird not crafting and not using Tombow. I mean, obviously I have snails and I have double-sided tape and I do use them, but I much prefer using Tombow, mainly because once you've stuck this down with the seal, it's stuck, and I like to be able to wiggle it because I never do it straight the first time. So there we go. So here we go. Ta-da-da. I'm going to pop that just there. Let's move all the detritus away. Stuff everywhere as always. I'll leave that up there because that's good. Hang on. I've got visions of ink going everywhere. Right. Okay. So there you go. So there is the finished card, although the joy. Eek. Let's just, there we go. It just needed to be a tiny bit higher. Now, I'm sure you might be going, okay, Amanda, well, that's fine. But I want a sunflower one. Ta-da! There you go. There's a sunflower one. Obviously, I've used exactly the same masks and the same images. But this one, I wrote it down. Look, this one's got Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, and Garden Green. So, which one do you prefer? Ali's saying, can she pretend it's her birthday and then I can send it to her? Ali, for the sheer cheekiness of that request, absolutely. I think that's awesome. Email me your address and I'll pop it in the post to you. Do you want the pink one or the yellow one? And then Ali, you can waft it under your family's noses and tell them that they've forgotten your birthday. That'd be very, very cool. Pink and purple seems to be the favorite one. Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Donna. Fabulous. Okay, so what other things do I need to tell you? I've emailed out everybody about there is a Stampin' Up event at the beginning of October. It's World Card Making Day. That isn't the Stampin' Up event. Because it's a whole worldwide card making day, but Stampin' Up are running a free event that's online, and you can sign up for it, so make sure you do that. It's going to be some fun crafting, and yeah, so I think it's the 7th of October. So it's a Saturday, so hopefully lots of you can join in. There are some recommended bundles. There's a sneak peek of a bundle, which I actually ordered. And if it's here, I will showcase it with you on Tuesday. So I'm pretty excited about next Tuesday. So I'm excited about that. Obviously, the Autumn Winter Catalogue's live. We've got some new online exclusives, some new papers that are available as well. If you are coming to my in-person classes, today is the last day to book for any October classes. So if you're wanting to attend any of those, you need to book today. And the Christmas retreat, the online Christmas retreat, booking closes next week, which is the 20th. So do make sure you're registered for that as well. Danielle's asking about the masks. These are these ones. They're called Abundant Beauty Decorative Masks. They're on page 47 in the catalogue. And obviously they're the 4-part masks that make the gerberas or the sunflowers. But also included is snowflakes and this amazing leaf sort of autumnal thing. And then this one, which is like a dog's tooth. Well, and that's what it looks like if you do it fully. But I really like this broken kind of effect. So there you go. Oh, I'll leave that there, actually. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to love you and leave you. I will see you all next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. I look forward to crafting with you then. Take care. Goodbye.